What up, though? Welcome to the NFC South Blitz, episode 1. It is the regular season, so we're about to preview this NFL action. It's your boy T-Word. I got my co-host with me. I got Shon Scott, John Gotti, Jamie D Farley, and we're about to get deep into it. So we got a head-to-head matchup, so it's hate week for a couple of teams, and then some other teams are just going to go ahead and get their season started, including the Thursday night matchup, which is going to be the Falcons and Eagles. We also have the Cowboys will visit the Panthers, and then, of course, the Saints and Bucks are head-to-head, so that's going to be a good game. So let's go ahead and get things kicked off, starting with you, Jamie. So Panthers going to be hosting the Cowboys. What is that game going to look like? How do you feel about it? What do the Panthers need to do to win that game?
Our offensive line needs to come out strong. I would like to see Cam come out strong with throwing deeper balls. We're going to be missing Thomas Davis. But
he got
hopefully,
4 games, right?
the defense is going to have it together.
Okay, you mentioned Thomas Davis. He has a 4-game suspension, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Well, hopefully, you guys will be able to compensate for missing him, because I know that even though his play has declined a little bit, he's an emotional leader. He's one of the guys the team rallies behind. Do you think they'll miss him more in that aspect or more on the field?
Probably more on the field. He shows up big for us on the field as well. Well, I probably could say it's equally as both. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, he's just big everywhere. But it's definitely going to hurt to not see him out there playing. But I'm sure he'll be on the sidelines cheering us on. So we'll probably miss him more on the field.
I can imagine. I mean, he is a key cog, and when you miss an emotional person, that can kind of trickle down to different phases of the game. And plus, on the field, he's like a quarterback type guy. He's thinking ahead. I watched a special on him, and just the way that his teammates talk about him, in a way that he's like a guru in terms of like telling people where they need to be and stuff like that, like a coach on the field. So I think you may be right. It could be a little bit more impacted on the field than off.
Absolutely.
Shon, what you think about it? What do you think is what you think that game's going to look like for the Panthers?
I think they should handily win that game. Dallas, it's a question mark for me. Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, Prescott. We got you.
Dak is a question mark for me coming into the third season. They're missing one of their best offensive linemen.
Yes.
I can't think of his name
Zach Martin.
now at the moment.
Zach Martin, the center.
Yeah, so I think you guys should be able to pull that out. The Panther defense is pretty stout. It was reliable for you guys last year, so.
That definitely is going to be a major point of interest, is how that Dallas offensive line is going to respond now that they're going to be down one of their all-pro players. Because the center of that O-line, I say from left tackle to about right guard, that was a rock-solid offensive line for the last 2 or 3 years, in spite of them not having Ezekiel Elliott. So with that pass rush that's going to come from the Panthers, I think you're on to something right there, Shon. That might be a key missing piece. I'm curious to see, because I still think Ezekiel Elliott is a solid runner, even without great blocking. I'm curious to see how the Panthers are going to handle that, because he's a guy who's going to touch the ball 20, 25 times, and he's a load, and that could wear defense down. Do you think there'll be any issues after he wears that defense down? Maybe third quarter, he's been pounding the D a little bit, and now he's getting to the second and third level, and those corners are going to have to tackle him. Do you have any concerns about that?
I don't know. I think that, we're going to handle them fine.
Okay. I mean, hey, I love the confidence. Nothing like a vote of confidence from your fans. I guess my next question would be about Curtis Samuel. I understand that he's got a little bit of an injury. What's the update on that?
He has an irregular heartbeat, so he had a procedure. So he definitely will not be in the game for week 1. They haven't quite said anything else beyond week 1, mm-hmm. But we know that he definitely won't be there for the Dallas game.
Oh man, that seems. Dude, how much of
he had an ankle injury, but from my understanding, our coach said that was healing well. Mm-hmm. But they're not trying to rush it. So we just hope that he gets well and gets to come back as soon as he can.
Yeah, I mean, I always hope for quick recovery for all players, even on rivals. I hate to see guys get injured. So what you're saying right there
but
is important.
as we have DJ Moore, Torrey Smith, Devin Funches that compete with him with snaps. So I think that those guys can handle it. I'm interested to see how DJ Moore does. And Devin Funches has been in the game. Torrey Smith. So, it's going to be interesting to see how those guys handle it. But I think we'll be fine in that area. We're definitely going to miss him.
Right. Because he's a deep threat, right?
Yes, he is. He had 3 of the 4 targets for 58 yards for the Panthers' third preseason game. So he's definitely going to be missed.
Okay, for sure. I mean, I know that anytime when you look at the way Cam in his best season, 2015, he surprisingly used Ted Ginn, who was considered by many to be basically an old head, and he used the heck out of Ted Ginn really well. So I can imagine that a guy like Moore and Samuel, they're going to be used a certain way, I think, to try to get the most out of them. Gotti, what you got?
I say, I think either way it goes, it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game. Both teams got a few holes and a few injuries to deal with and stuff like that. But I think the Panthers win it in a close one, man. Even though, for the sake of my team, I don't want them to win. But being honest, I say I think they win it in a close one. But it's definitely gonna be a close game. Both of them got some question marks, but I think the Panthers are more ready right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Plus, we have that home field advantage, so that's going to be a big part of key.
Is it? Home field
advantage? Oh,
yes. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Games turn out different when you're playing at home.
Oh, I know for sure. Trust me. There's been a little bit of robbery on the road, so yeah, I believe you. So, I guess one last piece of the puzzle that we need to put into place is the injection of now you're going to get a full game of game planning from Norv Turner. What can we expect to see from the Panthers in terms of, I know we only got to see little bits and pieces. It was real vanilla because it was preseason, didn't want to show the world what you're doing, plus you got a bunch of rookies and backups in. Now that you're going to have the full starting lineup for 4 quarters, most likely, what can we expect from the Norv Turner-led offense?
I think that the Panthers defense has really showed up for us mostly in the past, and we have definitely lacked in our offense. So I'm just looking forward to a much stronger offense to definitely, not lean so much on the defense. So I'm sure he's going to bring it. So I'm just waiting to see how the offense turns. But I definitely think that offense is going to look stronger. Definitely stronger.
Okay, cool. I can imagine the offense is going to look better. Just because I think it's going to be more wide open. I think if they rely less on the deep throws and teach Cam how to manage and throw a short throw. One thing that always threw me off about him is he can put it downfield and just let you go get it. But if you ask him to throw like a 10-yard out, it's like it's wild all the time. So I'm just wondering.
I definitely think he's going to work with Cam as well on his throwing as well. I think, that's what they brought him in to work with everybody. So I definitely think that, him and Cam has linked up and talked about where Cam needs work at. So, I'm looking to see a stronger Cam too.
Absolutely. Hopefully it'll be pretty effective for him. Gotti, wanted to get you to chime in on that as well. What do you think about Norv Turner being injected into this offense? Do you think it's going to make Cam look better, or do you think they're going to look to highlight another part of their offense?
To be honest, just looking on the outside in, I think Norv is probably gonna try to change Cam a little bit in a way. I don't really know. I don't have any sources, inside of North Carolina, but I have heard just like, from the grapevine that Norv and Cam have been going at it. I don't know if Jamie's heard anything about that, but I have heard that Norv and Cam have been bumping heads, so we're gonna have to see how it goes.
That sounds like an interesting developing storyline.
I don't know though. It could be bad. It could be bad.
Oh, you know what? With that piece of information, it does inject something different. Shon, what do you think is going to be the impact of Norv Turner in a regular season environment?
I think he can only serve to improve what the Panthers have in place. He's inheriting a pretty decent offense, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that might be a challenge for him is mastering the mindset of Cam Newton.
Yes.
I mean, with that scramble first mentality, that's going to be hard to really produce like a traditional passer. So he's going to have to acclimate himself to the way Newton plays.
Yeah.
So I think he'll do what he needs to do with them.
You brought up a really good point right there, mastering the mental state of Cam Newton. And I think he needs somebody, a veteran OC who could get in his head and keep him evenly keeled. I think that's probably the one flaw with Cam. I love him as a personality. I think he's a pretty good player too. And there's some potential to be better if he'll calm down and stay in the pocket. But I think one of the biggest flaws he has is post-game. He's either really high or really low. You know, he needs somebody to get him in the middle.
Right. He just operates on two different extremes. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. You got to understand his love for the game, though. You know, that's just who Cam Newton is. He has a big heart for the game. So when we lose a game, you know, I'm right there with him. Where it's just today ain't the day for that.
See, but he got to get up and do a press conference after the game. You don't.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. Right. I absolutely agree. You know, I'm not denying that, but I understand his passion
that boy, big baby.
And okay now. Okay now. Don't start that.
Did she just pop me on my hand? Y'all heard that? Yes, she just popped me on my hand. All right now. Go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I agree, you know, but I understand it. I definitely understand it.
Yeah.
He's hungry. He's hungry to win. He's hungry to be the best.
No doubt.
So, you know, I think I'm looking forward to see what he actually does this year, because I think we'll see a change in him.
I do believe that the offense will be a different type of explosive. It won't be the same kind of explosive it was in 2015. I think it'll be more balanced, which will make that team more dangerous. Just putting a pin in that so we can move on to the Falcons, who are actually going to play first on Thursday night. I did want to say that Cam comes off as a personality like a kid I coached a few years back. He hated to lose more than he loved to win. So after games, he was inconsolable. It was nothing you could do. You couldn't feed him. You couldn't buy him anything. You need to let him soak in it, and then it was good. Fortunately, we didn't have press conferences. So we're going to move forward to the Atlanta Falcons, who will open the regular season for the entire league facing the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this game is in Philly, so defending Super Bowl champs open up at home, and they come in with some question marks. We talked about the question marks most of us had about the Falcons, so we won't dwell on that. But I do want to talk about, let's go ahead and set this game up. Shon Scott, you come to the stage. What do you have for us in regards to the Falcons this week?
Well, my keys for victory here are simple as with the injuries that they have, they're missing two starting wide receivers. I feel like the defense has to come out aggressive. You're going to have to make Nick Foles, and that's another injury that they have. Carson Wentz isn't starting. Nick Foles is in. He beat us in that first game earlier this year. So, I mean, he's not just a easy win for anybody. You can't just put W by his name. But anyway, they're gonna have to make him make the throws to beat the Falcons secondary. I think that's a strength for us coming into this game. When you're playing the second string, when you're missing two wide receivers, I don't even know who they're throwing in the games, to be quite honest. But I feel like that favors them on defense in the secondary. Another key to victory to me would be to keep Matt Ryan clean. The defensive line for Philadelphia. That's a solid rotation of guys that they have in Philadelphia. You got Haloti Nada. I think he's coming towards the latter half of his career.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, still reliable guy. You got Chris Long, Michael Bennett, among others. I feel like with the way that they played us earlier this year, you're going to have to make sure that we are max protecting Matt Ryan the entire game. He has to stay clean. And I guess my last key would be to we're going to have to keep Zach Ertz in check. I think he's really their biggest receiving threat. He's a big red zone threat for Nick Foles, well, for the Eagles, period. But with them being so hampered in the receiving core, you're gonna have to make sure you are accounting for that guy on every single play. So those are my keys to success for us.
Sounds pretty reasonable. I think if those things are done, it will set up the Falcons for success. I do have I guess I disagree with the first key where you were focusing on, because they're going to be a little bit short on the receiver side, that it's an advantage to the Falcons. I'm not sure, because they do still have some pretty decent young guys. Nelson Aguilar, if I'm not mistaken, is still there. And like you said, you have Ertz. I think the run game is going to balance that out, because you do have Jay Ajayi, who is going to run the hell out of that rock. Right, and Sproles coming back, and he got something to prove. This is farewell tour to the league, so he gonna come out there with something to prove, and he provides a receiving threat, unlike the average running back. Yeah, you could split him out wide.
We're well aware of Darren Sproles here in Atlanta.
Oh, I know it. Record breaker in New Orleans. I know how it go, but thank you for that credit to our team. Anyway, but like you said, I think that would be the only one that I might have a little bit of disagreement with. Jamie, what do you think about Falcons? Gotti, jump in there. What do you guys think about the Falcons' keys to victory that Shon gave, or maybe some key points that you think are going to hinge on the game's outcome?
I think this is going to be the most interesting game to me, because we haven't really got to see the Falcons starters. But I do think that I think it's going to be hard for the Falcons to go to Philly and win.
Ooh.
Even, with Foles. But I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm actually want to see what the Falcons starters do. So it's going to be the most interesting game to watch.
Well, we all will be watching. This is a Thursday night game, so they get prime time off rip. So, it's going to be one of the most watched games. I do think it'll be some interesting stuff going on, because I feel like the level of dominance that was displayed by each team last year, I feel like it's different. So these are two very different teams coming into this game. In my opinion, it's not that, and I think the only reason that doubt is in my mind is because what we have seen of the Falcons in the preseason is giving me an idea that there's some areas of opportunity that could be addressed. And I think the Eagles might be a good matchup in those areas. But conversely, I say the same about the Eagles. I saw a lot of deficiencies in that team, injuries, and they lost personnel. LeGarrette Blount is gone. Wasn't Torrey Smith up there last year? I mean, their slot cornerback Patrick Robinson is with us now. So when you start to look at those, go ahead.
They lost two guys to us too.
That's another thing. I couldn't mention that as a key to victory, but I think they've got a pretty weak secondary. You are going up against one of the best best receiving cores in the NFL, in my opinion.
No, you're right.
With Julio, Sanu, you got Calvin Ridley out there. I don't really see this as a loss in any area. And it's not just like fandom speaking or anything. It's just I feel like there are enough deficiencies for the Falcons to exploit here.
And I can agree with that. There are going to be some deficiencies from that side. From the offensive side, I give the Falcons a decided advantage. I think defensively, I will probably point more towards the Eagles, because in spite of losing Patrick Robinson, they still bring back their veteran safeties. You still got Malcolm Jenkins back there. He can hit and he can cover. Jalen Mills is one of the best corners in the league. He's going to be there. But I think the run game for Atlanta could potentially be more effective than people are giving the credit to. Everybody's looking for a passing explosion, but I think Free and Coleman are going to have a field day against that defense. That's just my opinion.
Without saying. I really feel like,
that's without saying. Go ahead.
To me, yeah. I feel like that's without saying. Like I can't remember what the stat. I should have pulled up the stat line from the earlier game, but I think they had a really good game against Philadelphia earlier this year, but I'm not for sure, so don't quote me on that. But
it wasn't good enough, but
that's why
it wasn't good enough. No, I see you popping your little shot in there, John Gotti.
Hey, I'm in the bushes.
And that's why I think this still is going to be the most interesting game. Not being that it's just the first regular season game. But this is going to be very interesting to see how the Falcons do as well as the Eagles.
I can definitely agree with that. So, Shon, before we switch over to basically divisional game of the week, only because it's head to head. I mean, it's hate week ish. Before we switch over, anything else that we should be looking for in tomorrow night's game? I mean, it is the first one, and all eyes will be tuned in. So, is there anything we should be looking for?
Well, you got the their starting linebacker. I think his name is Braham. He's out. So look for the middle of the field to be wide open for Matt Ryan and that offense. Just saying.
That is a very important place to not have a hole in the middle of your defense. Exactly. I remember watching Vernon Davis eat good across the middle of a defense, and it kicked a team's butt. So, yeah, you definitely want that. So, if you have a middle linebacker, especially a defensive leader, that could be an issue. Now, depending on how they use Jenkins, they might be able to negate that if they put him down in coverage, but then you lose your back-end leader. So, it puts them in a very sticky situation. So, Philadelphia could be in for a sneak attack, jump out the bushes. So, going to be an interesting game.
We're
definitely going to
favored.
be tuned in.
We're favored. This isn't a sneak attack.
Y'all are
Y'all
favored?
be sleeping. The rest of the world is not. Thank you.
Favored where?
Favorite last time.
Favored outside of Atlanta?
Yeah. We're they're the underdogs. They're like
they the underdogs. They the underdogs. T. But
I know.
like
I'm giving her
that's
crap.
how it was last time.
For sure. I was just giving her a hard time. I've been knowing that they were favored for a minute.
hey, you better beat these Poodats. That's all I know, John Gotti.
We ready?
Oh, that's how we doing this. So yeah, okay, Shon. All right, bet. Ganging up on me. Got it. All right, so with that being said, that little preface, that little segue, let's jump into game of the week. It's going to be the New Orleans Saints hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to give away to Gotti first, you dig, because they are the visitors and showing some Southern hospitality. So, brother man, let's get into it, bro. First of all, FYT. And what's the keys to victory for the Bucs?
The keys to victory for the Bucs, man. First of all, we gotta have Fitz play a clean game, man. We gotta have Fitz. I say if he could keep it at one turnover at the most, that'll be a good look for us. And for him to just light it up, though. I mean, if the better he does, the better that is for the team. Being that that's one of our biggest weaknesses right now as quarterback. So if our backup if he could play an exceptional game, we'll be all right as far as the offense. And we gotta have our defensive line. Disrupting Breeze. We can't let Breeze sit back there and make coffee and all that good stuff like that this year, man. So if JPP and Vinny Curry and the rest of them boys and G Mac, if they can get the Breeze, man, we should be good, man. Because then the D line makes your secondary better. Our secondary ain't the best, but I wouldn't say we're the worst neither. But we need a lot of help on that D line though. So if the D line can disrupt Breeze, man, we can definitely win this one too. And I say from the running backs, if we can get 60, I mean they're supposed to be sharing carries from what I know. So if we can get 60 out of the running backs, I think we'll do good. If we can get 60 apiece out of the running backs, 125 yards plus between both running backs, man, we should be a very good game, man. If all three of those things happen, I don't know, man. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Wow. I mean that sounds like a good plan. It sounds like a good plan, but they do say everybody got a plan till people start getting hit. So we're going to flip it to the other side. And my 3 keys of victory for the Saints, if anybody heard me on Bucks Brigade, I gave some keys, and I'm going to more or less reiterate those. But for the main thing, the number one thing the Saints need to do is not overdo Kamara. Don't try to give him Ingram's carries. Just be balanced. Do what they did after about week 3. Run the ball effectively. They picked up Mike Gillislee, so there's a reason the Saints just cut 2 potential running back subs this week. Boston Scott was waived, and they cut Trey Edmonds so they could pick up an offensive lineman. So first things first, the Saints have to run the ball effectively and be balanced with the running backs. Gillislee is a good downhill runner. He's actually a more powerful runner. I think he'll be a key to victory. And then just use Kamara. Just let Kamara run, man. Just put him out on the wing, on the edge, and let him do what he do. Another key is going to be defensively. become an effective team rushing the passer. I think that there's a deficiency on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line. You've got a guard and a center, both with injury. So even if they play, you got to be able to exploit that. So up the middle, you need Sheldon Rankins and David Onyemata to push the pocket and collapse the pocket from the inside. And then to keep Fitz from running, you need Cameron Jordan on the edge and either Alex Okafor or our rookie Marcus Davenport to come off the edge. I think if that happens, that's going to protect the linebackers. That's going to let them be able to get in the position and make plays. And then lastly, no stupid stuff, man. For the Saints secondary, with the way the regular season ended last year and with the way the playoffs ended for the Saints last year, none of that BS on the back end. Make the tackle, hit him in the mouth, hit him hard, drag him to the ground. I don't care if he get out of bounds, but make the tackle at the spot, and it's over. All the risky stuff.
In the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, just no, all game. If you do it early, you ain't got to worry about it late.
I mean, especially the fourth quarter, though, right?
Especially the fourth quarter. Hey, I take my medicine.
Shade, boy. Gotti came with shade today.
I take my medicine. I just know that the last time the Bucs came to the Dome, we beat up 2 quarterbacks and a wide receiver. Had them in their feelings. So y'all got to come back to the Terror Dome. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, we ain't worried about it neither. You know, we ain't scared now. We ain't scared to come in your house and put our hands on you now.
I can't remember last time that happened, though. You know, I can't remember last time that happened.
It might have not happened on the scoreboard, but I mean, we all saw.
I saw that dude. Oh, you know what? I figured out why y'all signed Devontae Harris. So he could kick Mike Evans' ass in practice every day because he whooped on him last year. That's what it was. See, everything come together. Full circle. Full circle. That's what happened. Y'all smart.
He working for about $1,000 a week on the practice squad right now, man.
That's cool. That's cool. He shouldn't be on practice squad though. They gonna have to suit him up. You suit him up Sunday. We getting 6 TDs his way.
We got a few guys better. Than him.
Man, y'all got at least 4 guys better than him. But I guarantee he gonna suit up for y'all one of these games, and it's gonna be ugly. Trust me, he is terrible. Devontae Harris, if you're listening, bro.
I use my sources to keep him off the field. I let people know I heard about him.
You call Smitty and say, hell nah?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him I heard some stuff, man. Keep that boy off the field.
Oh, man. So, what?
You'd be better off just telling Jesus and tell Smitty.
Yeah, for real. Smitty ain't gonna do nothing. He don't care nothing about sacks or nothing. So, next thing I want to ask you. So, if there's one thing, I think there's always something about the opponent that you can look at and think, man, we need to be really effective against that. What is the thing that the Bucs need to do against New Orleans as far as like what is the thing that most concern you about the Saints?
What concerns me about y'all?
Yeah, what is the one thing that you feel is like the highest, like priority one when they start game planning? What was the thing they circled and said, hey, if we want to win, we definitely have to do this one thing. What would that be for you? What do they need to stop from New Orleans to pretty much put them in line for victory?
I mean, I got off the rip, 2 things come to mind, but I would say number 1 would be with us, it's gotta be the 2 games he had against us. It's gotta be contain Kamara, man. That's the first thing. I mean, we like you said, we don't know how many touches he's gonna get, but when he does get the ball, they got to put a helmet on him, man. I mean, the Falcons showed us he ain't exactly invincible. So you know what I'm saying? Just if they could lay a little, lay a little wood to him, I know they want him. He had his way. He had his way with both of our linebackers last year. I ain't gonna lie. I pay attention to all that type of stuff. He made David and Quan look stupid a few times last year. So I know they can't wait to get their hands on him though.
Yeah, if they can touch him,
yeah,
I would say
it's got to be containing him, and it's got we can't let MT have one of those Julio type of games because he is capable, and we know Bree's gonna be looking for him, and they were. I know y'all even as a fan base, y'all are real confident, but I feel like also the team is too. Like y'all, I think a lot of players on y'all squad feel like y'all got an easy one coming. So, I mean, we definitely can't let it be that. Like nothing coming.
Man, I think them young hogs is ready. That bitter taste. The one thing about having an emotional letdown and you on the wrong end of history is it make you hungry. It put blood in your eye. I feel like Mike Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, them boy dogs they brought down from Ohio, I got a lot of respect for them young men because they brought a different attitude. So while there might be some people that don't get a lot of playing time that's feeling real cocky and won't run out there and do the photo op, I think the people that matter are taking the Buccaneers very serious because it's really important that New Orleans open the season on the win. The main reason being, I don't think New Orleans has opened the season with a victory in about 4 years. So you have a home
I looked that up earlier too.
Yeah.
I saw that y'all haven't. So that's a good look for us though. It's something to hang my hat on, to hold a little hope on.
That could be some fool's
the Bucs
gold.
will be more confident, if they have Winston. But I think that Fitz looked good to me in preseason. He definitely has to come out strong if he plan on beating the Saints.
I look good in preseason too.
I don't see it, but he definitely got to come out strong.
Absolutely. Shon, what do you think about the situation?
I'm going to be the biggest Bucks fan for one game only.
I can't stand your ass. I can't stand you.
I want to see him go out there and throw 1,000 yards.
I don't even know why you would ask a Falcons fan that. You already know what her answer was going to be.
Nah, because she has said publicly that she dislikes all three teams equally, but here she is choosing sides.
I do not believe that. I do not believe that.
It's true.
Nah, it's not equal. It's definitely not.
I do definitely not.
Look,
It's
those
definitely
Saints
not
fans, they are the most arrogant fans in our division. Yeah, I think so.
There's
Falcons
a special type of hate relationship between the Falcons and the Saints. So that's why I
Not according to Shon. She said Atlanta don't care nothing about us like that. She hate us all equally. They hate us all equally.
No. I don't care what
believe
she
it.
say. I disagree.
Yeah, she talking. She just talking, man.
And that's why she laughing, because she know what it is.
That's
No,
all right.
I hate all of y'all.
Her words
I
just
really
told it
want
all.
Dallas to beat y'all. I just don't see it happening.
But then
She just told you who she rooting for.
exactly. That's okay. Two teaming.
We got
Got
you.
it.
We got you, Shon. I send you a shirt, a nice shirt to wear. and stuff.
Ooh, with a big L on the back.
It's getting burnt.
With a big L on the back.
It will definitely get burned. It will
John Gotti
definitely
came
get
on the
burnt.
podcast with shade today, boy.
Nah, you don't burn it. You said
Oh, I'm gonna save it for
cheering
our
for us.
game. Like we played in the first half of the season, right?
I believe we play y'all week 6.
Yeah. I save it. You send that shirt, I'm gonna burn it for hate week.
Wow.
And I'm gonna go live with it.
Gauntlet has been thrown. Ooh, group live on deck. I see it. Boy. So I don't know. I feel like do you feel like predicting the final score, Gotti? We ain't got to get into that. I think that's real extra. But if you want to give a prediction, that's cool. I don't really get deep into it unless I'm asked. Anybody got predictions on the game? Well, Shon already said the Bucks gonna win. That's who she expects to win. So
I say 31-28 Bucks.
ooh, very close. Okay, so
Yeah,
pretty close to last
31-28
season.
In the last second, Fitz drives down the field in the fourth quarter, and Catman kicks the field goal.
Ooh, and
Get you
Fitz
guys
stay
out of it.
trust. And Fitz stay trust.
I'm with it.
Like that.
I like how confident John Gotti sounds about that. I'm with it.
Wow.
I don't see the Bucks winning. No shade,
honestly-
John Gotti. I just don't see them winning. I just don't see.
fine.
But I mean, don't get it twisted though. I gave Fitz mad credit. I just thought he looked good, but I don't see him beating Breeze. There's
fine.
no way. If he do, the Saints better not show up in group. They better not show up in group.
Oh, you know they'll get missing fast. You know we know they good for getting.
Oh
missing.
yeah, that's they specialty. Disappearing.
I promise you, they'll be so
Yes.
sick. But honestly, my honest opinion, I just don't see the Bucks winning. I think the Bucks would definitely be more confident if they had their starting quarterback. So I think that's when the Bucks will really start to not only show up but get their confidence back.
I say I'm gonna put it like this: in the fourth quarter, if it's in the fourth quarter and they don't have us they don't have us up by at least 2 possessions, I think we win. I think we win the game. If they don't have us by at least 10 in the fourth quarter, I think we win the game.
Nah, not at the crib. But it ain't even gonna be that close. The closest score gonna be 0-0. I can tell you that. That's gonna be the closest score of the day. That's
You about the fifth one. You about the fifth one calling blowout now, man.
Man, it's always name the last time it wasn't lopsided in the dome for y'all. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I haven't looked up. I haven't looked up all the numbers, but we beat y'all in there before, though. Don't act
y'all
like
have beat us, but it wasn't with Fitz.
Slaughterhouse every time we come in there. Man.
I think Josh Freeman, the last quarterback besides Winston to win in the Superdome for y'all. How long ago was he on y'all team? About 8 years? 8 years, something like that?
Yeah, like 2011.
Okay. So about 7 years. I'm just saying, man, history ain't leaning on your side.
Winston?
Besides Winston, yeah. It was Freeman, right? So that been a minute.
Right.
So
but we know Winston, all that matters right now, man.
Not Sunday. Sunday is the Fitz show. Sunday is the Fitz show, and the Fitz show last time it rolled into.
You can refer to him as Fitz Magic, sir.
I'm waiting to see that magic. He show up.
But you know what, Gotti? The Tanks be so confident and cocky. Somebody in this division gonna pop them in the mouth.
Jamie,
you can mark my words.
Jamie,
on that. Somebody gonna pop them in the mouth.
Jamie, I can't.
One of the three.
It ain't gonna be y'all.
But you will not. You already done talked about this. We not no sweeping. There's no sweeping this year.
Don't
come my way with that.
It ain't y'all. I'm just saying, you talking bold. It's like, hey, keep it up. I'm gonna get my big brother for you.
One of us. I do not think that y'all gonna sweep us this year. We agreed on that. But one of the teams in the division, whether it's the Bucks, when they get Winston back, whether it's the Falcons, somebody gonna pop y'all in the mouth. And that's what's gonna bring that arrogance down.
I've already predicted my sweeps. I got us sweeping the Birds, and I got us splitting with the other two. And I think we'll split with y'all at the house.
My jersey as soon as y'all lose. I want
whatever.
that postmark overnight. I need that FedEx overnight.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes. I can guarantee you that we won't sweep the Panthers this year. I just don't feel like that's gonna happen. But until we play and that sweep don't happen, y'all still sitting on 3 L's. So
that's all right. We coming for
that's a lot of noise from the second place.
By the logic, you're gonna sweep the Falcons and you're going to sweep the Bucks, but you're not gonna sweep the team that you beat 3 times in a row.
No, he said
we're gonna split with TB. Yeah, we'll split with TB. We sweeping the Falcons this year.
All the only ones get the broom this year. That's
okay.
Yeah.
I just know it ain't going down this way.
Yeah, I don't see the Saints finishing with a record better than 4-2 in the division, but as long as they take care of business outside division, that'll be enough. But honestly, from what I've seen with the way the matchups are going to play out, this ain't just me throwing numbers out. The way the matchups are set up, I think that the way the Saints matched up against Carolina last year, and it was like they always had that one thing that was just a little bit better in those 3 games. I feel like we have that over Atlanta this year, but I think the Bucks always play us tough at home. Breeze does not do good in Tampa Bay, especially when it's the later game, later in the season. For some reason, that old age kick in, that arthritis don't act right, and that boy do bad in Tampa Bay.
So you just gonna forget that Deion Jones keeps snatching victory from Drew Brees?
He didn't do it on Christmas Eve, so I really can't get that too much legs.
Okay.
Last time we played, we bust that butt.
It's cool.
We bust that butt last time we played. That's all I'm saying. Y'all gave up at halftime, and it wasn't but a 7-point win, a 7-point lead.
Look at y'all too.
What's that?
I told you, Gotti. You know, we agreed. We agreed.
I never.
We agreed that.
I've always said that I hate the Falcons more than any team in the division because we've been rivals my whole life. Y'all new. You know, y'all like the new baby, like y'all 10 years after the fact, like the new baby that come in, like I ain't worried about that when I'm out the house already. But this one here, I've been battling this for life. So yeah, I'm gonna always throw slugs at the Falcons.
Coming into group, I have learned that rivalry is real.
Underrated.
Oh my goodness.
But Sean be trying to downplay it. It's all good. She knows.
Yeah, she definitely downplayed it. She definitely downplayed it.
No, you're not gonna disrespect my team. I don't care who you.
Well, it feels like I think we found a closing point, so we're going to have to get out of here because this thing about to get long and I got to edit. And we got the fantasy draft, so I got to get to work on some stuff. So before we close, everybody go ahead and give a shout out. Let's start with Atlanta. Sean, who you got?
Hey, my girl's Crystal Drawn. I think that's how you pronounce her last name.
That sounds right.
That's my bag. Hey, boo.
Hey, that's what's up. Gotti, who you got?
Man, shout out to Zach, man. Shout out to the Falcons, Zach, man. He be complaining about his shout outs out there every show, man. Shout out to Zach, man.
Yeah, he do. Jamie, who you got?
I'm gonna go with my hater shout out, and that's still Mr. TC Edwards, who said he coming for me.
I like the fact that y'all all shouting out Falcons.
You know, he coming for me, so I'm ready for him.
Y'all all bums, but y'all
mine is a hater shout out.
My shout out.
You don't believe that.
Hey, first off, I want to shout my whole fan base. Hey, and even the ones that's out there diving off them cliffs. Listen, guys. Proofread your stuff before you post it. That's all I'm saying. Now, my actual personal shout out, somebody that I feel like has been a huge supporter. He's been giving credit even when he wasn't real active. He still was checking in, peeping. James A. Hayes, shout out to him, man. That's a real good dude. And he's really been a supporter of what we're doing. And he's even an admin, so got to give him a personal shout out. Thank you for just reaching out with encouraging words, bro. I really appreciate it. So
Jennifer, gives us a huge shout out each week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Saints
Jennifer
fan.
never gets her props. Yeah.
Man, she's a huge supporter.
Yeah, Jennifer Harmon. Shout out. Good looking out on the love. Much appreciated. And I guess that's gonna close it. So this has been episode 1, getting into the regular season, NFC South Blitz podcast. We thank y'all for tuning in. Keep checking back with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and shout out to our sponsor, United Principal Insurance, aka Mr. TK Theory. Came through with the clutch sponsor, brother. So we thank him so much. New admin as well. Got that badge on his chest. So yeah, we appreciate that. Yeah, we all flash like cops around here. We just got to keep it moving though.
I'm gonna work on getting them back up out of here, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Ooh, the hate is so real. I see how y'all do it. With you, bro. Hey, and welcome back, big bro, Lil Bro, I guess, Ashton Richard, and shout out to my buddy Dylan. So on behalf of the team, we thank y'all for tuning in. We'll check y'all next week. Heading into week 2, we out. Peace.